without objection.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to pay tribute to a man who was a champion from my home state of Georgia. It's been 10 years this week since the passing of Senator Paul D. Coverdell, and I'm proud to honor the life, the work, and the spirit of such an influential man today. Described by his colleagues as a soft-spoken workhorse, his strong passion for his country was shown throughout his distinguished public service in the United States Army, the Georgia State Senate, the United States Senate, and as a director of the Peace Corps. Senator Coverdell was a devoted hard worker who was a pioneer for the conservative movement in Georgia. Some might say he was a pillar of the community, but that's an understatement. He was the foundation upon which the pillars were built. As a key figure in the establishment of a strong Republican Party in Georgia, he was the first Republican since Reconstruction to be reelected to the United States Senate. He was notorious for his ability to work on both sides of the aisle, and he saw ways through the bitter partisanship, and he was one who was well-liked and respected by all his colleagues. Apart from being a brilliant man in his work, he was also a humble and kind man, characteristics that helped in the advancement of the cause that he fought for. As a testament to his humble and gentle nature, I will share with you a story about Senator Coverdell and a special friendship that he developed that would change his life. While vacationing in Maine in 1978, Senator Coverdell decided he'd look up the former chairman of the Republican National Committee, George H.W. Bush. He simply found his address in a phone book. He went to his home, he knocked on his door, and he introduced himself. He introduced himself to a man who would later become the President of the United States. And the pair became closest friends over the next 14 years, and they helped each other in many different ways. And when George H.W. Bush was elected president, Senator Coverdell sent him a letter that read, "If I can help, I'd like to help." And it was at this time that the 41st president then appointed Senator Coverdell as director of the Peace Corps. 5 years after his death, at the dedication of Paul D. Coverdell Center for Biomedical and Health Sciences at the University of Georgia, President Bush said of Paul Coverdell, "In the Washington world of bitter partisanship, Paul was indeed a voice of reason, always reaching out, always putting the good of the country first, always finding solutions where others might try to find blame or an issue to use as a political weapon. He was successful in bringing together people across the political aisle. I've heard it said that to the end, Paul Coverdell was the great unifier, and so he was." Senator Coverdell's legacy is particularly important to me, as I am the first graduate of the Coverdell Leadership Institute to be elected to the United States Congress. Senator Coverdell founded the Coverdell Leadership Institute to support the Republican Party in Georgia through the building of the farm team through the Republican Party. And at the time, Georgia was not far removed from being a single-party state. No Republican had served as governor since Reconstruction. Senator Coverdell began working with the current and future Republican leaders, training them in the practical aspects of politics and government service to ensure that going forward there would be a bipartisan presence among Georgia elected officials. Today, I'm especially grateful to Senator Coverdell for starting this forward-looking program that continues to be relevant and impactful today, 10 years after the senator's death. That is certainly a life to be proud of. From the Paul D. Coverdell Center of Biomedical and Health Sciences at my alma mater, the University of Georgia, to the Paul D. Coverdell Peace Corps headquarters building here in Washington, D.C., and the Coverdell Leadership Institute itself, and many other honors in between, Senator Coverdell's great legacy lives on, and I ask that his life be remembered today. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Burton of Alabama is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Bright from Alabama is recognized for 5 minutes.